All right, it's a great day in America. It's Sunday, January 30th, 2022, and going to head out to the gym today to work out for about 3 hours. This week I didn't get to as much gym time as I wanted, and before I headed out, I kind of wanted to do a episode 11 that I'm calling the American Freedom Tour. And so yesterday we had a big event here in Houston, Texas. It's called the American Freedom Tour, and it was brought here to Houston. Started at 8:30 in the morning until about 5:30 p.m. Saturday, and we had some awesome speakers from Dinesh D'Souza to Donald Trump Jr. and Donald, the president, came and spoke as well. And I forget the lady's name, Guifoyle. She's a former reporter from Fox and whatnot. So anyway, it was an awesome day, and had an opportunity to go to this event, and have been familiar with events like that where you have, prominent speakers talking on a variety of different subjects. Sheriff Lamb was there as well. And so anyway, that got me to thinking about, event management, event planning, and the purpose of having events is to get a gathering of like-minded folks to connect and to get good information and to have a great experience, to socialize, to network or whatnot. And so I wanted to give a quick brief on how these events, can get rolling. I've got an event this coming Sunday, February 6th. I'll put a link in the description. It's called the Four Chaplains Honor and Remembrance Ceremony, in remembrance of the four chaplains who gave their life back in World War II, February 3rd, 1943. The USAT Dorchester was sunk by a German U-boat, and over 902 Army soldiers had to deal with the consequences of a sinking ship. I think only 200 and plus survivors actually survived that wreckage, and the chaplains themselves became legendary in the fact that they gave up their own lifeguards to inspire their men, and even though they were facing death and peril themselves, they ultimately did perish, and they were honored and remembered ever since. So with this event, I'm part of the American Legion, and one of the commanders had asked about putting on an event like this, which we've never done before. It just so happened that in my network, I knew the former chairman of the Four Chaplains Memorial Foundation, and chatted with him about it. And ultimately, a church here in town, the Church at the Cross with Pastor Johnny Teague, donated the church the venue, which is always key. You want to have a place where you can have the event. And once we had the venue, once we had the ceremony, because Charles knew how to put these things on, then we were able to rally our mighty network of veterans and patriots and those that wanted to be a part of this program. So it's all come together really well. In fact, the church is even donating the live stream, so we'll be able to feed that out to our national groups across the country, invite the media, invite chaplains in the area. In fact, made a connection at the Katy Christian Chamber the other day with the regional director for Corporate Chaplains of America, Doug Brooks. And so once I gave him a brief, he was really excited about being a part of this. In fact, he covers a 12-state region. And so now this has become an association of folks that are bringing this together. My friend Kathy Bowerstocks from the Network in Action Veterans Business Force that I interviewed last time, she's actually getting on board as well, and others. And so, the thing is, you have to plan the details of the ceremony. And so I've been chatting with Charles, and also recruited a co-producer and my friend Peter Batura, who works for Icon Copying Company. I guess he's a worldwide recognized sales rep. And so he's gotten involved to help, guide people through the process of the ceremony that we're going to do, but also provide the printing. And then reached out to my friend John Pelham with Scars and Stripe Coffee, and we're planning on having a coffee and cake reception after the ceremony. Again, that's February 6th from 1:30 to 3:30 at the Church at the Cross. And again, I'll put the details on there. And then interestingly, I had an opportunity to interview Matthew Modine for the Full Metal Jacket photography diary experience here in Houston. And ultimately, one of my good friends was reaching out to me about helping him with his nonprofit for pet rescue, and so ultimately I said, I met the founder of Wounded Warrior, so I'd love to see him get involved, but I could see vets adopting pets kind of a thing, because we do have a abandoned pet problem here in Houston. And so as he's putting together his nonprofit, was able to make a connection there. So all this to say is, one of my goals within the next 1 to 3 years, and I've said this to my inner circle, is to make $10 million. And what I'm realizing, and that's doable, especially after going to this American Freedom Tour. There was a speaker, James Smith, which I'm going to be doing some research on. I encourage you to do the same. In fact, I'll post one of his videos, but I've never heard a man talk like this and share just his wisdom and experience of helping people become wealthy. So I reached out to one of my mentors, Eddie Smith, that I interviewed in my previous video about becoming an author, who actually invited me to this tour to be a part of the prayer team. And when I was getting ready to leave yesterday at 4:30, this guy James Smith was on stage, and I saw that Eddie was really focused on this guy. I said, if Eddie's focused on him, I need to be focused on him. And what's interesting is, this man basically builds and makes wealthy people. He took one guy that's a former prisoner from, I think, Argentina. He was a former prisoner. He said, guy, when you get out of here, I'm going to make you very wealthy. And come to find out, he's doing really well here, I guess, in Texas. And the guy is investing in properties like abandoned hotels, like, chains that are big name, like Best Westerns or Ramada Inn, and et cetera. And it just so happened that recently we did a U.S. Vets after party celebration for a fundraiser that was done for a housing facility that is here in Houston, that's a converted Ramada Inn that makes housing available for vets at a low cost to at least get on their feet. And it just so happens that I guess this guy that became a mentee of this James Smith is one of the guys that actually purchased that platform. So I was like, I want to meet this guy, and find out more about how to accelerate my plans, not just to become wealthy, but to help other people. That really is the mission and the calling, and I kind of feel at this stage of my career, the last 15 years, I've made a lot of investments, and I got a lot of goodwill with folks that now it's time to capitalize. So with that being said, even at this rally this last Saturday, the American Freedom Tour, I ran into about 20 people that I knew. I mean, it was just kind of a God thing, and it was really cool to be able to connect and reconnect with folks, because we're all like-minded. We realize that we've got a country to save. We've got so many opportunities to flourish and to be of help to our fellow folks that are going to need help, especially with all the things that we're reading about when it comes to the inflation, the stock market, our borders being overrun, and just the freedom that's at stake because of socialism, Marxism, and communism at that stake. So we know that those ideologies, as far as limiting freedom, limiting capitalism, and the ability to do great things for other people, those things actually come to shut it down. So this platform, if you're watching Marketing Dynamics Behind the Scenes, is more of my contribution to the learning community that I already have a great network, if you will, but I want to continue to grow my influence and grow support and dialogue with other people like yourself that are watching this channel. So today I'm going to the gym, getting my swole on, so to speak, but also just we've got to take care of our health. And so I'm so thankful that also working with Dr. Milinda Morris, she's a retired Major U.S. Air Force, OBGYN. In fact, I encourage you to go to her Facebook page called Healthy Living with Dr. Milinda Morris. And we're doing a Zoom call every Wednesday, 11:30 and 1 at 5, that airs live to talk about, it's called 5 Minutes with You. But in that video series, we basically are sharing tips on how to stay healthy, how to get rest, and stay, energized for the days ahead, right? Because if you're going to be in business for yourself, or you're going to be a leader, then your health is definitely going to come at play, and you only have as much energy as you've planned for, right? And you only have the body that you deserve, because that means you got to exercise and get down to your goals, right? And so we're all about setting our goals, documenting our success together. We're better together, as has been said. So in this episode 11, again, I'm calling it the American Freedom Tour, but there's more to it, right? There's a lot under the hood. And so I'm hoping, as I connect the dots, one of my friends, Wally Wood, says it's one thing to connect the dots and collect the dots. You got to collect the dots, right? So you got to know who to involve in your circle. You got identified mentors, and this guy James Smith, when I heard him speak, I never heard a man speak like that. I said, I've got to meet this guy, and so I'm asking my friend Eddie Smith to introduce me to him, and so I'm looking forward to one day maybe having him on the YouTube channel. But again, I'll post some links here in the descriptions, and you can kind of take your time and find out more on some of the subject matter that I cover here. But I'm trying to leave clues here and there, of course, as you watch, and ultimately, I'm so thankful to hear back the feedback from those that are like, hey, Andy, I need to make a connection here, or can you introduce me to someone there, and kind of see what God does there. So anyway, I hope you have a great Sunday, and stay tuned for the next episode, episode 12, I guess it'll be, but I don't know what it's going to be until I actually talk about it. So thank you so much for watching. Take care.